Welcome. Today we wanted to talk about flower essences for grounding because this is such an important theme, and you might already know that you're not grounded. You might feel that you're not very present and you'd like to be more connected in your life, or you might not even realize you're ungrounded. So today we're hoping to share more about signs, how to tell when you're ungrounded, the sorts of things that cause us to get ungrounded, and how to support yourself when that happens, and 5 really beautiful flower essences that can help you connect more with yourself, your emotions, your body, so that you can be really fully present and able to live your life fully and enjoy all the beauty and wonder that's available to you.
Yeah, because it's beautiful being here, isn't it? It's beautiful being grounded. It's beautiful kind of really feeling in your body, feeling present in the moment right now, not in the past or not in the future, but just where you are right now. And it's such a beautiful state. And yet I think a lot of us just live in quite an ungrounded way most of the time, don't we? That feeling of kind of being spaced out or unfocused, that space when you can't finish what you're doing and you're kind of jumping from one thing to another, when you don't feel comfortable in your body, or you're thinking about what's happened yesterday or what's going to happen tomorrow, and you're just not occupying that beautiful presence and that space right now, which is the gift, the present right now.
Yeah, and so many spiritual teachers talk about being in the moment, because that's where all the magic is, that's where all the love is, that's where all the good stuff is.
Yeah.
And yet we are constantly distracted, disorganized, disconnected, and not able to feel that. And I really love that, with essences and the way that they increase our self-awareness, they help us to pull all parts of ourselves back in again, so that we can really connect and feel with all parts of ourselves, and then really get in touch with what stops us being present. And I really like what you were saying about all that kind of being unfocused, not able to concentrate, which is a really big part of it, and also being like a real daydreamer, drifting off, being really sleepy and inattentive, like checking out, like emotionally checking out, like really just leaving, and sometimes like missing parts of a conversation, or if you've ever been driving along and you don't know how you got there because you've just been somewhere else. And it feels like it's such a practice to kind of learn to just be really present in every moment as it comes. And there's so many things that stop us doing that.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think for all of us, we might have different ways of, or different experiences of feeling ungrounded, whether it is that kind of inattentiveness or apathy. There are so many different ways of not being here. And it's like, why would we not want to be here most of the time? Or all of the time, because it is such a beautiful space to be in that grounded and present space. But I think we all carry so much old baggage, old emotions, old traumas, old hurts and wounds, or just learned ways of being that make it really difficult to want to be here. So whether it's kind of like we're afraid, or we feel guilty, or we feel in some way that we're not allowed to be here in the present moment, or it might be kind of feeling uncomfortable because we feel really overwhelmed by other people's thoughts and feelings, or whether we just have a lot of fire energy and we're impatient and we just want to get on with what we're doing. Or sometimes it can be kind of a lot of spiritual work can really unground you if you're kind of too open at the top and not grounded enough kind of in the lower chakras. So there are so many different ways of feeling ungrounded. And I guess we've all kind of got personal or experiential things that we experience that, are our way of being ungrounded.
Yeah. And often without realizing that that's what's happening. And I kind of check out a lot mentally, like I just distract myself mentally. I keep my mental energy really fired up, like I'm always Googling a fun fact or learning everything about everything. And it's really just a way of not being where I am. I'm just kind of off in my mind. So that's a really common one, I think, for a lot of people. Or, just keeping distracted, being plugged into social media, looking for the next interesting thing, and you're just looking for something that you'll never find, because actually all the treasure is here when you're present with yourself and your own heart, your own emotions, your own body, your own moment. But it's like we're seeking something outside of ourselves that we're never going to find, and we only find it by being connected within ourselves. But yet the very habits that we think are meeting the need are stopping us connecting more fully. So it's this kind of just this culture of distraction that I think is very much something that we're in. And we're so easily distracted because there's underlying emotions, beliefs, fears that actually make it hard for us to be fully present.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think it's so easy to not realize what you're feeling, what's going on for you. And I think what happens for a lot of people is that strong emotion gets triggered off by a particular situation, or maybe it's something that you just carry anyway. And it's that kind of pushes you out of the present moment and makes it feel really uncomfortable to be here. And I think, as you say, a lot of us don't even realize when we're not grounded. It's like we're here and then suddenly we're 5 minutes down the path and we haven't even realized how we've got 5 minutes down the path. And it can be, I think when we stop and really connect with ourselves, it can be quite eye-opening to what's actually going on inside us. What's really, how we're feeling. And it can be quite an emotional thing. If we just stop and breathe and connect with ourselves when we feel ourselves becoming ungrounded, it can be a very powerful way of connecting you with what's actually going on. So how do you feel in your body? What emotions are there? If you stop and take a deep breath, what's going on inside you? What are you actually feeling that you're kind of running away from? How does it feel to be in your body? Does it feel comfortable? Does it feel uncomfortable? Does it feel emotional? Is there old emotion in there that's needing to come out and be released?
Yeah, and I think a lot of us can be very good at telling ourselves stories about how we're feeling, but that's just our mind getting involved again. But actually feeling that very kinesthetic sensation. What are these sensations in our systems? What are we feeling? And that can be really helpful just to tune into it, and that practice of welcoming in whatever we find, because that's what these uncomfortable emotions need, isn't it? It's like they need this loving welcome. Okay, so this is what's here. This is the truth. This is really uncomfortable and it's welcome because this is here now. So it's just like loving it, like a really loving parent, just like, you're so welcome. This is so welcome here. It's all fine, like really fine. And just that real permission to feel even the hardest stuff, because it's the hard stuff that makes us check out, isn't it?
It is.
Nobody's really trying to run away from joy consciously, I don't think. Although I think we do it unconsciously, but that's a whole other story. But we're oriented towards wanting to feel comfortable, wanting to feel safe, and anything that pushes those buttons that we're not comfortable, we're not safe, we're not fundamentally okay, it can just make us really like withdraw. And part of us leaves because it's too uncomfortable. We don't want to feel the pain of that.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think often becoming really grounded is partly building a relationship with yourself. It's saying, hey, I want to get to know you better. I want to get to know me better. And certainly for me, often when I'm ungrounded, it's because I don't want to know me. I don't want to know what's going on for me. And I realized some time back that actually, if I'm ever going to build a relationship with me, get to know me better, then I need to be really grounded. I need to be here. I need to stop and make the intent to say, yeah, I'm going to build a relationship with you. And that means being super present with myself and recognizing when I'm running away from how I'm feeling, when I'm running away from the uncomfortable pain. And it's been a real journey of discovery, because as I've become more grounded and present, and there's a long way to go on that front, but as I've become more grounded and present, it's like I've connected with those really deep parts of myself that have been in pain or old emotion that's needed to come out, and it's been eye-opening. It's been stuff that I've run away from for a long time, and now I'm stopping and saying, I'm not running anymore. It's okay. I'm just, like you say, just welcoming that in, drawing it in, and just treating it like an old friend. Because it is an old friend. It's a very old part of myself that is just needing welcoming in and nurturing and having a relationship with, in terms of, yeah, I acknowledge you. You're there and it's okay.
Oh, I really feel the energy of that. Like as you were talking, it was just feeling like how exciting it is to be humans who have this capacity to invite in the fullness of our presence and all that we are, like all aspects of ourselves, and to get to know ourselves and shine a light into all those kind of corners and just welcome everything in, and to feel really conscious, really present, like really empowered, like really knowing yourself very deeply, and to be in a world where other people are doing the same, and you get to know people at a really real level. Like just something so beautiful about that. And the more present and conscious we become, the more we recognize what's right for us and what's not, the more we make conscious choices about how we spend our time and how we put our energy into the world, the sorts of things we might want to focus on, the changes we might want to make. And also, I think a lot of the kind of mainstream media and a lot of the messages that there are about the world as it is at the moment that are put out there can be quite disempowering. But if you're really grounded and present, you've got this really strong knowing and understanding, and you can run all of that information through this filter and choose what resonates and choose what doesn't, and really make very conscious choices about how you show up and help to create a world that is more beautiful and more connected and where there's more love available.
And that's really what we're needing to do right now, isn't it? It's like there's so much in the world that needs healing. It needs balancing. And it's all of what's going on in the world is created, in essence, really by each of us and by our unhealed patterns and the pains and the old ways of being that push us into actions and ways of doing things that are just not in harmony with the world, and they're not in harmony with building a loving society and being in your heart. So I think the more that we can all really be grounded, be in the moment, and move into that heart space. And the heart space is the present. It's the moment. It's the right now. And the more that we can all do that, the more that we're going to create something that is so much more beautiful, so much more connected than we are creating at the moment. And I think it just means stopping and really deeply connecting with ourselves in the moment and saying, okay, this is how I honestly feel. This is honestly what's going on for me right now. Owning that space and letting go of that old pain so that we can recognize what drives us out of the present and release that so that we can just be right here, right now, in that powerful space of creation and presence and love.
Yeah. And instead of being kind of somewhere in our minds and distracted and disconnected, to be fully embodied in our hearts and really connected to our bodies feels so powerful. And it's like the microcosm and the macrocosm where we're individually disconnected from ourselves and our hearts and our bodies. And then we see on a collective level the disconnect from the earth and all the things that can happen when we don't have that heart connection with the planet in a wider sense. Yeah, I really feel how important it is for us to be healing those patterns, those stories, those traumas. You know, there might be conscious things that consciously you've experienced that have been traumatic, whether it's things around your physical safety or relational safety, where there's been traumatic incidents that have ruptured your connection and made you think that the world isn't safe or that it's not safe to be in your body, and how we can bring those into conscious awareness and really bring the healing and bring the presence to help us really clear those old stories and really help us land and fully just really be here. Yeah, and I think often a lot of the way many of us live our lives is like a trauma response. It's not feeling safe to be here, so flying off into the mind, into analysis, into the past, into the present, but not actually being here and feeling because it doesn't feel safe to feel. And one of the things I love about essences is the way they hold this very safe container for us. So if we don't yet know how to welcome in those painful, wounded parts of us, the essences, like, they're bigger than us. They hold this space. They're like, I've got you.
Yeah.
Got you. You're fine. Like, I've got your back.
Yeah.
And really holding that safety for you. And because they come from nature, so they're very connected with that very grounded earth energy. So they remind our systems how to connect with that also. Yeah, so I think essences have such an important part to play at this time for helping to help us get in touch with the emotions that we might have difficulty feeling, and to help reinforce those core feelings of safety and groundedness.
Yeah, and there are some really helpful essences that are very good at helping you to ground and be here, but also that in the process of doing that really get you in touch with how you're kind of thinking and feeling and what's going on for you.
Top favourites?
Top favourites.
Tried and tested by the team.
Well, certainly top favourite for me would be Loose Strife. It's a single flower essence, and it is all about kind of grounding. It's really good if you kind of easily get spaced out or ungrounded, or find it difficult to be here and complete tasks. It works a lot with the base chakra. And when you take it, it's beautiful. It's like it's plugging you into the earth. It's plugging you into your body. And I've actually just finished taking Loose Strife, and it's really helped me to ground more physically in my body, but it's also really helped to bring out all of the patterns that have made it feel difficult to want to be here. And that's been a real blessing. And I think that's partly because the act of kind of grounding and being in your body and saying, I am here, is almost permission to let some of this deeper stuff come out and clear through. So Loose Strife has been a blessing, a really good experience in that way. It's a lovely essence. And it's also one of the essences in our base chakra combination. The base chakra is all about grounding, and the combination is all about rebalancing the base chakra and helping you to kind of clear and release anything that's stopping you from being in your body. So if you want a single essence, Loose Strife is brilliant. Combination essence, base chakra is really helpful.
My probably favourite, it's hard to choose. One of my favourite bachflower remedies is clematis, which is the bachflower remedy for grounding. So it is for people who are dreamy, away with the fairies, really not present, very ungrounded, floaty, never really in your body. And it's just this really beautiful essence for bringing your visionary, dreamy aspects more fully into your physical body. So if you're somebody who would benefit from clematis, there will be this part of you that wants to escape the earthly world. You just want to be elsewhere. You want to be somewhere otherworldly, daydreamy, inattentive. And it's like you're not really fully here. But as you take clematis essence, it brings your energy fully in, so that those qualities that are very visionary and dreaming you can sort of anchor that dreaminess and bring your creative visionary aspects more fully in, so that you can manifest things and bring that imagination and visionary aspect into your body, so that you can create really beautiful things. Very connective, just really connecting you back in.
Yeah, it's beautiful. It's one I've used a lot.
Yeah.
Another really good flower essence is valerian. Again, it's a single flower essence. It's one of our karmic flower essences. And it's all about presence and connection. It really helps to bring you into your body. It helps you to bring all aspects of yourself that might be kind of scattered just back into your energy system and just focus you in the here and now. And it's a really good essence, again, for connecting you with why you don't want to be here. So whatever kind of old patterns there are around, I don't feel safe to be here, or I don't want to be here, or I don't feel like I'm allowed to be here, whatever it is, the valerian helps to kind of bring those into awareness so that they can be cleared through. So the lovely thing about valerian is that you can use it in the moment if you need to. So if you're feeling ungrounded, you can just take a few doses of valerian and it'll just help you to bring you back into your body right here and now. But if it's a longer kind of term pattern that you're working with, so if you find it difficult to be grounded in this lifetime, then valerian taken over a much longer period of time is really helpful in bringing out and clearing through those deeper seated patterns.
Yeah, and I've been thinking about valerian being really helpful for birth trauma, if your birth was traumatic, because often if you've had that ambivalence about incarnating in this lifetime, in utero, like before you came in, you might come in with a traumatic birth. So I really see the potential of valerian to really help with that kind of experience. So if that's been true for you, it could be a really good one to take. Feeling safe is a combination essence. It's one of the divine harmony essences, and it's a really brilliant essence for clearing any core trauma and deep fears, which often aren't always conscious. But if there's this underlying sense that you don't feel safe, you've never felt safe, you're constantly thinking that something bad's going to happen, there's this feeling of dread, you're not really trusting that life's going to bring you good things, there's always just this sense of, the other shoe's going to drop, something bad's going to happen, and you're kind of tuned into danger, you're sensing danger all the time, even when there's no threat. So that's usually a sign that there's some unprocessed trauma in the system that needs some love and attention, and the feeling safe essence is really good for restoring that safety, trust, connection, helping you to really feel safe to be here.
Yeah, a really helpful combination, that one. And our last one is the Earth Star. It's one of the rainbow light Buddha essences. And the Earth Star is an energetic point about a foot below our feet. And it's that part of us that energetically kind of grounds and connects us to Mother Earth. And taking the Earth Star, well, it's a really grounding experience, isn't it? It's very grounding. It really draws you into your body. It draws you into the present moment. It's a deeper acting combination. So it's working at lots of different levels to heal and release the parts of ourselves that don't want to be here. I often find taking Earth Star is a mixture of feeling like I'm plugged back into the earth and my body, and also suddenly connected with all of the reasons why I don't want to be here. And then over a period of time, it's like it helps to bring out and release those. Yeah, interesting essence to use. Very grounding, very powerful.
Yeah. And I hadn't realized how ungrounded I was until I took Earth Star. And then I was like, oh, so this is what it's meant to feel like. You're meant to feel your feet on the earth. Like, I had no idea that was even a thing at that point.
I think often we don't know how ungrounded we are until we actually get grounded.
Yeah. Because if you've never really been grounded, you just don't know how good it can be. So if you really want to be here, really connected to your body, connected to the earth, connected to your emotions, connected to yourself in all your fullness, and to be really present in the moment and able to focus and manifest and just really be fully here, essences can really bring that missing link in, can't they?
Yeah, they're very powerful tools in that way.
Yeah.
And as you were saying earlier, they are of nature. They are flowers and crystals and gems. They are nature. And I think there's nothing like nature for that really grounding, connecting kind of energy. So yeah, beautiful.
Flowers and crystals know how it's done. They've got a lot to teach us. So
they have.
When we imbue their energies, we are learning from the experts how to really be here and enjoy the beauty of life. Yeah. So thank you for joining us. We hope you found that helpful, and feel free to get in touch if you need more help and advice about the best essences to help you if you resonate with the themes that we've been talking about today.